I'm arrested in Texas. What do I do now? The handcuffs are on. You're in the back of the squad car and you feel completely powerless and alone. Your mind is racing and you're terrified you're going to say or do the exact wrong thing. I'm here to tell you that what you do in these next few moments, long before you ever see a judge, can change the rest of your life. Every word, every action, every choice you make is now part of a permanent record that a prosecutor is going to pick apart one day. My name is David Smith, and I'm a Texas criminal defense attorney. For years, I've seen how a few simple mistakes made in the first hour after an arrest can lead to devastating consequences. I've also seen how taking the right steps can build a powerful foundation for a strong defense. In this video, I'm going to give you the critical step-by-step guide you need to follow right now to protect yourself and your future. This isn't a law school lecture. This is about survival. The golden rule: be polite and compliant. The very first thing you have to do is control the one thing that you still can: your own behavior. Your adrenaline is pumping. You may feel like the arrest is unfair, that the officer is dead wrong, and that this is all a huge misunderstanding. Every instinct is probably screaming at you to argue, to plead your case, or even to show your frustration. You have to fight that urge. Your first step is to be as calm and polite as you possibly can. Do not, under any circumstances, resist arrest. Not verbally, not physically. Don't pull your hands away, don't tense up when they're cuffing you, and don't argue with the officers. Don't try to explain. If they tell you to get in the car, you get in the car. If they tell you to put your hands behind your back, you do it. Why is this so critical? Because in Texas, resisting arrest or interfering with public duties is its own separate crime. Think about that. You could be arrested for something minor, but end up adding a new, more serious charge just because you let your anger or fear take over. It happens every single day. The officers are documenting everything. A judge and jury are always going to be more sympathetic to someone who is calm and respectful, not someone who is belligerent. Being polite isn't an admission of guilt. It's a strategic decision to stop the situation from getting worse. Keep your hands visible, speak respectfully, and comply with the physical instructions. This is your first move in taking back control. Here are 2 sentences that can save your future. All right, listen closely, because this next part is the most important thing you're going to hear. TV and movies have completely warped how your rights work in the real world. And that confusion is something police can and do use to their advantage. Most people think that the police have to read you your Miranda rights the second they slap on the handcuffs. That is a myth. In Texas, police only have to read you your rights before they start a custodial interrogation. This means they can arrest you, drive you to the station, and put you into a holding cell, all without ever saying a word about your right to remain silent. They are counting on you to fill that silence. They're hoping your nerves will make you start talking, trying to explain yourself, and offering up information voluntarily. Any spontaneous statement you make before they read you your rights is often fair game for the prosecution. Do not fall into this trap. You have to be the one to turn your rights on. You do it with 2 simple, powerful sentences. The first sentence is, I am invoking my right to remain silent. You have to say these words or something very close to them out loud. Just staying quiet is not enough. The Supreme Court ruled in a case called Salinas versus Texas that your silence alone can sometimes be used against you as evidence of guilt. You have to actually say the words, verbally claim your Fifth Amendment protection. Once you've said, I'm invoking my right to remain silent, your only job is to do exactly that. Be silent. Shut up. Don't answer questions about where you were, what you were doing, or who you were with. Do not try to be helpful. Do not try to explain why you're innocent. Every single word can and absolutely will be twisted and used against you. The second very important sentence you need to say is just as crucial. I want to speak to my attorney. Police may ask you, who's your attorney? You don't have to say. Just repeat, I want to speak to my attorney. This is your constitutional right to a lawyer. And just like your right to silence, you have to state it clearly. Do not be vague about it. I think I might need a lawyer. Doesn't cut it. It's not a request, it's a demand. I want my lawyer. Once you clearly ask for an attorney, police questioning is supposed to stop until your lawyer is there. Don't let them talk you out of it. They might say things like, well, if you get a lawyer, this gets a lot more complicated. Or an innocent person doesn't need a lawyer. I've actually seen comments like this. That's a tactic. Your response to every single question from that point forward is, I am remaining silent and I want to speak to my attorney. These two sentences are your legal shield. You have to use them. The power of no in illegal searches. While all of this is happening, officers might ask for permission to search your car, your phone, or your home. This brings us to another huge right. Your right to be free from unreasonable searches. It all comes down to one word: consent. If you give them consent, you give up your right to fight that search later on, for the most part. Unless an officer has a search warrant in their hand, you should never give them consent to search your property. You need to say it clearly and politely. Officer, I do not consent to a search. Now, can they search you anyway? Sometimes, yeah. They can pat you down for weapons to make sure they're safe. And if they have what's called probable cause, they might just search anyway, regardless of what you said. Let them. Don't physically try to stop them. The key is that you have to put your objection on the record. By saying, I do not consent, you give your future lawyer a powerful weapon. If that search was illegal, done without a warrant and without your permission, any evidence they found can get thrown out of court. That can completely dismantle the prosecutor's case against you. But it all starts with you having the courage to say the simple word, no. After the arrest, you'll be taken to a local jail for booking. If you're in Houston, it usually is the Joint Processing Center in downtown. Think of this as an administrative paperwork session. They'll take your picture, your fingerprints, and they'll ask for basic information like your name, date of birth, and your address. You have to give them these basic details, but your right to remain silent about the actual case still applies. As they're asking you these simple questions, don't offer any other information. Don't talk about what happened. Don't ask the booking officer for legal advice. Just answer the basic identification questions and nothing more. Sometime after booking, you'll get to make a phone call. Another TV myth is that you get one phone call. In Texas, the law says you have a reasonable opportunity to contact someone, which usually happens after booking is done. You'll likely be able to make more than one call to reach a family member and, most importantly, a lawyer. But you have to be incredibly careful. Assume every single phone call that you make from jail is being recorded. When you call a friend or family member, do not talk about the details of your case. Don't say, I messed up, or here's what really went down. The prosecution can and will get these recordings and play them for a jury. The only call that is protected and confidential is your call with your lawyer. Use your calls to tell your family where you are and have them start calling a criminal defense attorney for you immediately. That is the only purpose of that phone call. Once you're in jail, it can feel like you've been swallowed up by the system with no end in sight. But a clock is ticking. Under Texas law, if you were arrested without a warrant, the state has to bring you before a judge or a magistrate without unnecessary delay, and it can't be any later than 48 hours after your arrest. This first hearing is usually called an arraignment or magistration. It is not your trial. At this hearing, the magistrate will do three things. First, they'll formally tell you what the criminal charges are that you're facing. Second, they will advise you of your rights again, including your right to an attorney. If you can't afford one, this is where you officially ask for a court-appointed lawyer. And third, the magistrate will set your bail, the bond amount, and any conditions you have to follow to get out of jail while your case moves forward. This 48-hour rule isn't just a guideline. It's your guarantee that you won't get lost in a cell for days without seeing a judge and having your rights formally recognized. It's the first real step in the court process and the moment your legal fight truly begins. Trying to find your way through the system after an arrest is confusing, and honestly, it's terrifying. The steps I've laid out today are your first line of defense, but every single case is different. To help you even more, I've put together a free series of videos that you can look at regarding your rights and how to protect yourself, which goes into a lot more detail on everything we've talked about. You can look at it online at davidsmith.law. And if you want more practical, no-nonsense legal information to protect yourself and your family, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications. The moments right after an arrest can feel like the end of the world, but they're really the beginning of your defense. Just remember the keys to survival. Stay calm and be polite. Say it out loud. I am invoking my right to remain silent, and I want to speak to my attorney. Do not consent to searches. And be smart about your phone calls. Taking these steps doesn't make you look guilty. It makes you look smart. It shows that you know your rights and that you're taking the protection of your own future seriously.